down firefighters is not a good look, Mayor or former Mayor Reed. I will. You just told him to not let him speak. I heard you say it. You said it.
Good evening, everyone. Praise God. Welcome to our April 8th, 2025 City Council meeting. And tonight I get the pleasure of doing invocation again. Would you stand with me, please? Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you. Father, give us humble spirits, Father, as we meet in this place for this city. We ask this in Jesus' name. And now we will have the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First, we have recognition proclamation for telecommunications. And I will read. Whereas emergency require police, fire, and emergency medical service can occur at any time in the city of Lynchburg. And whereas the prompt response of first responders depend on the accuracy and efficiency of our emergency communication officers. And whereas these professional services as the critical link between residents and emergency services ensuring first responders receive the necessary information to protect lives and property. And whereas in 2024, Lynchburg emergency communication officers answered 55,196 calls, including 2 CPR saves, with over 98% of calls answered within 15 seconds, exceeding national standards. And whereas proper use of 911 service enhance efficiency, save lives. Now therefore, I, Larry Taylor, Mayor of the City of Lynchburg, Virginia, do hereby proclaim April 13th through 19th, 2025 as Public Safety Communication Week. In Lynchburg, honor dedication professional emergency communication officers. Larry Taylor. And I'd like to make this presentation to the Chief. And just
Good looking crew you got there, Chief.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to present this to all of you. So thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, I just want to real quick thank you for the opportunity to recognize the incredible men and women of our Emergency Communications Center. I know at least a few of you have a direct connection to that, either in the past. And the men and women out there, they are truly the lifeline for our citizens in their time of need, and they're the lifeline for our police officers and our firefighters. Without them, our public safety professionals out on the front couldn't do that. They are truly our first responders, and so grateful to have them here. That group came under the PD about a year ago. They're led by Captain Nick Leger, who's a director out there. He's unable to be here tonight, but grateful to have Miss Amy McDaniel, who is our deputy director there. 25 years of service at our Emergency Communications Center. She's going to say a few words. So thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Taylor, Vice Mayor Deemer, and all members of council. It is indeed an honor for me to stand before you today in recognition of our communications officers for the city of Lynchburg. This year, we're celebrating our 40th year in the city of Lynchburg as a 911 center. We're the call center for the city, and so 40 years we're celebrating this year. So this Public Safety Telecommunicated Week is truly a special one. April is a busy month for 911. It's Emergency Education Month for 911, so we'll put out public messages on how to utilize 911 and the importance of 911 and the reasons we ask so many questions. Everything we do is vital, and I am proud of the workforce that we have with us. Our communications officers, I believe, are the best in the state, in the nation, and they do a tremendous work. They give of themselves tirelessly. They work. They put in the work, and they care about the people that they serve. So it is indeed an honor for us to celebrate with you all our accomplishments, because we couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
And so I have a gift for each of you. We're in training. We start early. So which one? Right here.
You have no idea how special this is.
Thank you all.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we add Mr. Jamie Maxwell from the Lynchburg Fire Association to the end of the public hearing, if I could.
I'll second that.
I have a motion.
Just would like to add him to the end of the speakers tonight. He's here. And since we had a pretty fiery discussion and work session today about the firemen, I want to make sure we give equal time. So I would love to hear from him.
So we got a second? You want to speak to your second?
I just think that it's always good to hear from our first responders, always great to hear from our Firefighters Association, and there were some things that were said upstairs in the work session previously that I do believe he should have an opportunity to respond to. And we're going to have a very busy meeting. Next meeting, I think it's more appropriate to do this tonight.
Do we have a vote? Mr. Wilder?
We vote.
The motion passes 3-2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Tonight's agenda is divided in 4 sections: consent agenda, public hearing, public comment, and general business. The first section is consent agenda, including routine items that can be approved by one vote. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Cast your votes.
Initiating the vote now.
The motion passes 5-0.
Next item, public hearing. Procedure. Staff will give a presentation. The public can give comments. Individuals have 3 minutes to speak. If speaking for a group, you have 5 minutes. Group speakers must say which group they represent. Each group get 1 spokesperson. Each speaker must say their name and locality of residence. After public comment, the public hearing will be closed, and the matter will rest with council. First item, consideration of adopting resolution amending previously approved condition for existing pawn shop at 2811 Campbell Avenue. Ms. Rachel.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. The purpose of this conditional use permit petition is to adjust the operating hours and allow the sale and pawn of firearms at an existing pawn shop. The Planning Commission held a public hearing regarding this petition on February 26th. The motion to approve the petition failed in a tie 3-3. The property has been zoned R3 medium density residential district since 1978. Our future land use map recommends a traditional residential use for the property. Small retail uses can be consistent with this land use designation. So for a bit of background on how we got to this point, prior to the city's zoning ordinance rewrite in 2016, the Board of Zoning Appeals, or BZA, was able to issue conditional use permits. This was a provision in the ordinance that stated the BZA could do this in certain instances. It could be granted for commercial uses within existing structures built prior to 1978, as long as no exterior structural alterations would be needed to the building. This was written into our ordinance to provide flexibility for non-conforming structures, or grandfathered, some might call them, that had been annexed into the city. So the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a request for a conditional use permit in 2014. At the time, the board set conditions regarding operating hours, prohibiting the pawn of firearms, signage, etc. The current owner then leased this pawn shop from the previous owner in 2016 and later purchased the property in 2020. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF, issued a firearms license at this location in 2021. The zoning division recently became aware of the firearm sales at this location being in conflict with the CUP conditions when investigating a sign ordinance violation complaint in December. Once the owner, who again purchased the property in 2020, became aware of those existing conditions, they submitted a public hearing application to revise them. The proposed amendments to the CUP are listed here. The proposed changes should have limited impact on the surrounding area. The pawn shop, again, has been in operation since 2014 and has held the firearms license since 2021. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer questions after the public hearing.
Will the petitioner like to make a presentation?
Good evening. I just want to thank the members of council for taking the time to be here tonight. I'm sure you are all aware I'm trying to acquire a conditional use permit, or CUP, for King Pawn on Campbell Avenue. The current CUP allows us to operate a pawn shop, but I have requested 2 changes from the current CUP that will reflect more standard business practices to sell firearms and extend our operating hours by 30 minutes at the beginning and the end of each day, making our hours 9:30 to 5:30. I was unaware of the CUP on file until recently, and as soon as I found out I was in violation, I took immediate steps to fix the issue. The original CUP was acquired by the previous owner and was not shared with us when we purchased the business in 2016. We applied for an FFL license in 2021 and were approved, but no one mentioned the CUP issue until December of 2024. Since then, we've been working diligently to comply with all city regulations. In addition to our ongoing adherence to federal firearms laws, we've operated with an FFL license at our other establishment downtown, El Appleman, for over 20 years. Since a break-in El Appleman in 2017, we have updated our security systems with Allied Security in both stores, as well as reinforced our gates downtown and ensured our windows and doors at King Pawn are secure and locked behind bars. We are actively working on developing additional solutions to eliminate the threat of firearm theft in the event of a break-in. We also have systems in place to complete internal firearm audits annually and collaborate with law enforcement to ensure guns do not end up in the wrong hands. The pawn industry isn't widely understood, so I want to clarify that every item we purchase or pawn is automatically uploaded nightly into Leads Online, which is a program used by over 5,500 law enforcement agencies and public safety organizations across 80 countries. This ensures that even if stolen property, including firearms, are sold across state lines, it will be tracked. Since firearms are registered and have serial numbers, they are especially traceable. If an unregistered firearms comes into our store, it goes into our gun log and becomes traceable. Additionally, every time someone picks up a pawn gun, we run a background check to ensure that they are still legally able to possess that firearm. Allowing pawn shops like ours to sell firearms in compliance with all regulations ensures that firearms are circulated through a lawful regulated marketplace, reducing the risk of illegal firearm sales. Unlike private, unregulated transactions, pawn shops follow strict federal and state guidelines, providing a safer, more controlled environment for the sale of firearms. This is particularly important as we work to prevent criminals and individuals prohibited from owning firearms from acquiring them. In addition to our role in promoting responsible firearm ownership, we are committed to being good neighbors and giving back to our community. We actively donate to local nonprofit organizations and support events that benefit our neighbors and their surrounding area. We believe in strengthening the community that supports us, whether it's through sponsorships, volunteer work, or direct contributions. We want to help make a positive impact. Many of our neighbors are also our customers, including local law enforcement, who know firsthand that pawn shops like ours offer an important service. We know that sometimes people in our community are in difficult financial situations, and pawning or selling a firearm may be the best option for them. By being able to purchase or pawn firearms, we can continue to help people in need while ensuring that all transactions comply with the highest safety standards and legal requirements. We also recognize that maintaining strong relationships with our community is essential, and we take the concerns of our neighbors seriously. For example, we were informed of parking issues at the Fairview Christian Church and took action to address it, putting up signs and making sure our customers know to avoid using their parking lot. We continue to work with local businesses and neighbors to ensure cooperative and respectful environment in the local and surrounding areas. In closing, I am happy to answer any questions you may have and want to express my sincere gratitude for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll call you back if we have.
Yes, sir.
Anyone here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, just for the record, I received no voicemails
No
for this public
voicemail?
hearing.
Okay. You have a second?
Second.
Please cast your votes. You want to speak to your seconds, first of all?
I don't have anything to say. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. We're just fixing something we need to fix, and I hope you generate some more business, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Thank you for being a good neighbor, and I apologize for having to do this.
No more discussion? Cast your votes, please.
Initiating the vote now. The motion passes 5-0, 2 absent.
Next session is public comment. Speakers have 3 minutes to talk. If you're speaking for a group, you have 5 minutes. City Council will listen to your comments. and they ask the city manager to follow up. Citizens often have difference of opinion. To make sure everyone feels safe and comfortable speaking, there's no applauses, no cheers, no jeers. Do not intimidate, do not insult, and do not disrupt others. Do not use profanity, promote business, or campaign for office.
Mr. Mayor, briefly again, there's a few last-minute additions, or not additions, but changes to this, and I'll address them as we get to each commenter.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
just let you know. I'll be
Yes, ma'am.
interrupting again.
Thank you. Hear from a citizen regarding education. Don Curry. Don Curry.
That was not one of my revisions, but the next public commenter, Teresa Odell, did let us know that she would not be able to, or they would not be able to make it today.
Okay.
So that one's pulled.
Thank you. Number 8, hear from citizen regarding Lynchburg Public Library's children material. Jamie Plank. Could you please restate your name and locality, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Jamie Plank, and I live in Ward 4. Good evening, council members and Mayor Taylor. I'm here to speak regarding materials available in the children's section of the public library, specifically those promoting gender fluidity, gender transitioning, and homosexual relationships. These books are advancing a harmful and controversial ideology. Therefore, council members, I am asking you to establish a board to allow community oversight of books the library selects and promotes for the children of our city, and to enact protective measures such as designated shelving, parent and guardian supervision, and even removal of books from the children's section. When I take my 5 children to the library's youth section, I cannot find materials encouraging my sons and daughters to restrict their eating and embrace a journey of anorexia or bulimia. I cannot find books normalizing recreational drug use and encouraging children to consider getting high as a way to manage their feelings or discover their identity. I cannot find books glamorizing self-harm and showing my children how to mutilate their bodies through cutting. Isn't restricting access to books like these book banning? Of course not. It is basic protection of minors from ideas that can put them in danger of harming themselves or being harmed by others. Functional communities provide boundaries to protect children. I am asking that the citizens of our community have a voice in determining where we set these boundaries. As parents and community stewards, we need to fight against the denigration of the human body, uphold the inherent dignity and value of male and female, and protect our children from sexual objectification. The goal of the public library is to allow access to information for all and to support intellectual freedom for the public good. These goals would not be impacted by providing parental safeguards or removing books from the youth section. For our library, a government entity, to nearly unilaterally endorse transgender ideology and revisionist views of sexuality and marriage without regard to the diversity of beliefs among their taxpayer base isn't an example of intellectual freedom. It is indoctrination. And for the library to usurp the right of parents to guide their children's understanding of sexuality is neither freedom nor a benefit to the public good. It too is indoctrination. There are so many children's books about overcoming adversity, grappling with identity, and reconciling differences between people that do not trade in controversial ideology, disparage the human body, or glamorize the pursuit of sexual gratification. It is these books that should be platformed, and those that encourage potential harm and implicit sexualization should be available only with parental consent or removed from circulation. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. We now hear from citizen regarding common sense value. Ms. Karen Quigg.
Good evening, all. Karen Quigg, Ward 3. I absolutely love books and libraries. This is not about that. Approximately 45% of LGBTQ children seriously considered suicide last year. 66% have symptoms of anxiety, and 53% have depression. This is not good news at all. Childhood is such a precious time of life, and we need to provide and protect and give them one such as this. As educators, my husband and I see little life, joy, or vibrancy in those students today. Many wear dark clothing, glazed eyes, and they are scared and they are desperate. My heart breaks for these children. And no wonder, because they are being told and taught lies by the father of all lies, Satan. Any public library, any public school book that advocates any kind of sexual perversion and deviancy must go. Purchase these books yourself if you must, but not with our tax dollars. To my fellow citizens who casually act like the content of these books are no big deal and encouraged us to flippantly, quote, just don't look at them or check them out, I say no. These books are not neutral. They're not teaching us how to fish or cook or play chess. They're evil and they're immoral and they're wrong. And you cannot ever change the rules of biology. But we can help these children. This is part of what's causing the mental health crisis today. And this is the line of reasoning, quote, is one of Satan's favorite tactics. The genuine Christian is urged to raise his tolerance level and compromise and abandon his faith. But the one book that can and will change lives, right here, the Bible. It transformed a hard-drinking slave trader, John Newton, into a preacher who wrote the beloved hymn, Amazing Grace. It transformed a lying, stealing, addicted Chris Quigg into a faithful missionary in special ed classrooms still going today. And it transformed me. I understand gender confusion. Because of some long-term sexual abuse, there were seasons I did not want to be a girl. Yet by God's amazing grace, our culture was not as anti-God, broken, deceived, and there were definitely no cell phones. I did not get enticed, encouraged by peers and so-called adults to drastically cut up my body. And because of this book, I stand before you now as a redeemed, restored woman of God, a faithful wife, a mother of 7, and a gaggle of grandchildren. So put a balanced library board in place. And not only does the Bible transform us, it holds our future. I've had the privilege to pray for our city council members for over 3 years now. I care about you all, and I pray that all of your names are written in the book of life, because as it states in Revelation chapter 20, anyone whose name is not found recorded in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire.
Thank you, Ms.
This
Quigg.
is serious business. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We now hear from Ms. Deborah Armstrong.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
This is another revision. So Ms. Armstrong previously signed up to speak on behalf of a group, but is instead going to speak as an individual.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor, members of council. I am Ward 1. My name's Deborah Armstrong. I live off of Wigington Road in Bethel Estates. And I was here during the vote for approving the development changing the development from a medium to low density to a high density at the Wigington 501 interchange. I'm very concerned about Wigington Road. I travel it every day, as you know. You've heard a lot of words and thoughts about this. We can't change the vote, unfortunately. It's going to happen. But I'm here today to ask if we can make some changes to Wigington to make it a safer road. Could we think about sidewalks and making it, a wider, less curved venue or corridor? We're going to definitely double, if not triple, the amount of traffic that's coming down the road. And I brought my bike helmet for a prop because I would love to see some bike lanes on Wigington and Hawkins Mill, because all of that's going to get really, really, really busy. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, and also wondered if we could also talk about another entry exit on maybe Chapel Lane. I don't know if we've talked about that before. Y'all have entertained that. Or Jefferson Ridge, maybe 501 Wigington isn't the primary entry and exit for the new development. And I'm open to, hearing more about that. and just wondered if that was part of what you're looking into. And I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you. We'll now hear from citizens regarding the budget. Carl Caffaletti. Cephaletti. Rowdy. Sepharadi.
Oh, I brought the wrong.
Ms. Sepharadi, state your name and locality, please.
Okay, I'm Cora Seferati, and I live in Boonesboro. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and everybody. I recently attended the Budget and Brews and was disappointed that there were limited facts and figures and also no alternate options other than holding the tax rate at 89 cents. What I took away from the meeting is that the city and school employees are up for another raise. Miller Pool needs fixing, the schools need infrastructure attention, and the library is in need of remodeling. I'm sure these are not the only areas of concern in the city. I'm seeing that for many years, the prior councils and city managers have not dealt with the needs of the city. Instead, they wanted bricks downtown that pop up and are tripping hazards. They wanted an amphitheater that may or may not be an income generator, as there's limited parking in the area and it is unknown who will be managing it. And I'm sure there are other things that may not have been priorities. So now we are at the end of the road, since the infrastructure, which sounds like a need, has been ignored for the wants. This is a significant problem that can't be reasonably fixed all at once because the public, the taxpayers, have limited funds. Some questions I have: is there an estimate to fix the leak in the pool? How do we know it's going to cost $10 million, and what is actually being done? Same for the library. Are there estimates? Are these wants or needs? I think we need some transparency and prioritization of projects. But I have to say the new CIP dashboard is a helpful resource. I agree the school infrastructure has needs. For instance, the mold remediation sounds like a need, but isn't there a maintenance department that could have dealt with this by now? This was ignored, even though it should be a higher priority than an amphitheater. If the tax rate is reduced to equalize at 0.767, the city is still receiving an increase because of the new assessments. Can the city look at creative ways to save money, such as selling property, looking at duplication of efforts? Has there been an audit recently? Is that open to the public? When the tax rate was reduced to 89 cents 2 years ago, we heard doom and gloom and that the city would suffer, but things have worked out. The city council's judgment was sound, and equalization should be strongly considered again. The economy is poor from the last 4 years, and that can't be fixed overnight. My costs have gone up just like other people, but I'm being asked to subsidize the needs and wants of others. There needs to be a balance and prioritization in how property taxpayer money is spent. Thank you.
Thank you. We now hear from citizens regarding the public library. Mr. Peter Sepharadi.
I'm going to state my name and where I live. Peter Sepharadi, Ward 1, and I beg your indulgence, I'm not going to speak about the library tonight, but I think I moved to talk about development on Wingington Road, if that's okay with you folks. On the meetings we've had, it seems like there's 200 or 300 people apparently who are against the development, and they have two main complaints: loss of their quiet island that the residences exist in, and inadequacy of Wigginton Road. And I understand these considerations. I've been in the same situation before, and I sympathize with it. But neither one of these reasons should cause developers to be deprived of their property rights to develop your property. These two reasons, I have to say that city residents should always be aware of the possibility of development and vacant land, especially in a city where we have a demand for housing, a real serious demand for housing. Shouldn't be surprised at that. And I also say that after all, somebody had to divide the large parcels that their homes were built on sometime in the past. It's the same thing. And also, the city's responsible for the road conditions. And it sounds to me like this is just another area neglected by past city councils. So the developers shouldn't be responsible for this. I think the council should encourage owners to develop large vacant parcels in that area to build new homes for people who want and need them. This would expand Lynchburg's real estate tax base and increase the needed revenue that we have coming in from property taxes every year. Here's what this might look like. Let's say that there's 3 large parcels that could be developed. I seem to remember on that parcel map that was shown. If you could build 1,500 homes on that parcels, and they had an average assessed value of $350,000, that would mean over $4 million a year in new tax revenue to be collected every year, and that's at a 77-cent tax rate. And this will easily pay for any road upgrades on Wigginton Road, intersections, roundabouts, whatever they need to do. And after that stuff is done, you'd have $4 million a year, at least until values go up and you're able to get more money out of those people to do all the other things we need to do, or help do the things we need to do to get the city out of the financial hole. So I'm just going to say that in ending it, not many people spoke in favor of this project a couple weeks ago, but I'd like to suggest that the voters, the people that would speak in favor of development would be all the new homeowners who would move into those new homes. So just consider the fact that what the financial situation our city's in, and expand the tax base so that the existing homeowners don't have the full weight of the sandbags of taxes on their back that should have been taken care of in past decades. Thank you for your time and your attention. Appreciate your work.
Thank you. Hear from citizen regarding double standards. Dr. Beth White.
Mr. Mayor, this is the last of our revisions. Dr. White is actually speaking for a group, Citizens United for Lynchburg.
Oh, she's speaking for the group.
Somebody's pen. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council. I represent the group Citizens United for Lynchburg. We are a bipartisan group of over 100 concerned citizens that work together for the betterment of Lynchburg. I want to make something abundantly clear so that there is no confusion, no mistake, no misrepresentation of what I'm about to say. I am an evangelical Christian. I say that unapologetically. I am an adjunct online history and government professor of both college and high school students, so I am also very qualified of what I'm about to say. I am also a conservative constitutional Republican. So now that I've got that out of the way, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that, quote, Congress shall make no law representing an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So let's take a specific look at the freedom of speech. We each have a right to our own opinions, but at the same time, we must also be responsible for the things and the way in which we speak. According to the 1919 Supreme Court case, Schenck versus United States, former Chief Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes stated that freedom of speech is protected, but not absolute. That's actually one reason why you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater. Why do I bring this up? It is because words matter, regardless of if they are written or spoken. Prior to every city council meeting where a public comment will take place, citizens are admonished to refrain from using their allotted time to cast insults, intimidation, and other hurtful things. But I would be remiss if I did not point out that this should also pertain to our elected officials. Some would even call this a double standard. During a city council meeting on July 11th, 2024, a private citizen stood where I now stand and spoke a message that 2 council members found to be intimidating and insulting. It was so much so that the city attorney was consulted, and former Mayor Reed had to ask the citizen to change part of the message. This rattled the citizens so much that the rest of the message was lost. This could be viewed as intimidation of a citizen. I remind members of council, as well as those who are listening, of this incident because in recent weeks, we have heard from various citizens who have felt intimidated, bullied, and even threatened
by not just specific council members, but also their friends and followers. For example, on the Save Our Schools Facebook page, dated February 25th, 2025, Councilman Misjuns wrote the following sentence at the beginning of his comment, quote, "We will see you guys in court," unquote. There are several citizens who not only refuse to speak, but also attend city council meetings because they are fearful of the bullying, intimidation, and harassment because of some who have stood at this podium or sit in your seats. How do I know this? It is because these same people have reached out to me personally to share their concerns and fears over the last 2 years. I understand because a few weeks ago, a former member of council tried to intimidate and some would even say bully me personally. But I refuse to be bullied, intimidated, or back down. You, who are our elected officials, represent all of the people in your ward or the entire city if you serve at large. This does not give you the right to serve the powerful or rich, those who act, think, believe, or look like you do. To quote the Declaration of Independence, which I believe to be most fitting here, quote, "In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury," unquote. Another issue that is currently before City Council is the presence of certain books in the public library. The double standard here is that there is a current lawsuit against the city regarding the violation of the freedom of speech. Yet that same freedom of speech is not extended to members of the community who visit the library to freely not just check out books of their own choosing, but to receive assistance in a variety of other services. In fact, there are members of council and private citizens who are advocating for an advisory board that would provide oversight of the public library. As we all know, City Council appoints members of all city boards and commissions. So, this could be viewed as a further extension of government bureaucracy and power. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan made the following statement, quote, "Government is not the solution to the problem, government is the problem," unquote. Nearly 250 years ago, a group of citizens were tired of the long train of abuses and usurpations that were exacted on them by their government. Let's crack open a history book.
Thank you, Ms. White.
Thank you.
We now hear from citizen regarding support for Lynchburg Public Library renovation, CIP, Denise McDonald.
Thank you.
Please state
Was-
your name.
Was the gentleman before me not coming? There was someone else on the list.
Greg Berry, representing the city elders, was up next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, do you want to have him go?
Go ahead, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, so I'm here.
Go
Okay.
ahead, you stay. Mr. Gregg, you're next.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Denise McDonald. I'm a resident of Ward 4 of Lynchburg, and I'm a member of the Friends of the Library and 2 book clubs, and we support our library capital improvement program. My husband, Travis, and I have spent 36 wonderful years in the city of Lynchburg. We raised our children here, and I have spent my career in nonprofits, in colleges and higher education, and most recently retired from Lynchburg Old City Cemetery, museums, and arboretum. And I have a question for you all. By a show of hands, how many people here believe that reading is important? Do you think reading's important? Yes, some people. Folks, yay, thank you.
We shouldn't respond to
Okay, that's all right. But my guess is that most people feel reading is important. And why is it important? It's because that's how we get a good education, that's how we get good jobs, and that's how we have good citizens who can read about what we're doing in city council and respond appropriately. So I'd like to tell you a story. I grew up in a small town, much like Lynchburg, and I used to ride my bike to the library a long time ago. I loved to go to the library, and my parents thought it was a great idea that I go to the library. So I went there, I perused the books, I found stories of adventure, history, science, and I learned a lot. And it sparked my curiosity. So last Friday, I decided to walk to the Lynchburg Library. I walked through the stacks, just as I've done many, many times, but with a fresh eye. And again, I was rewarded in seeing many wonderful topics everything from local history, the Ann Spencer House, gardening, I'm a big gardener, World War II, hobbies, novels, lots of children's books. I saw mothers reading stories to their kids. I picked up this brochure on all the wonderful city programs offered for children at the library. I saw retired people and students using the computer terminals that are available for everyone. And I learned that our library averages 465 patrons a day and over 4,000 books and materials accessed a day on average. But our library is 40 years old. It has old computer wiring. It has leaky plumbing. It has problems with water sewer backups. It needs renovation badly. Our community deserves a better library. We are a first-class city, and I believe we deserve a first-class library, not a third-rate library. So I encourage you to endorse the Library Capital Improvement Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we are here from a group representative regarding church and state, Mr. Greg Berry, City Elders. Can you please state your name and locality, please?
Yes, my name is Greg Berry, and I'm in Ward 3, and I'm representing Lynchburg City Elders. Since you skipped over me, does that mean I get extra time? Probably not. Okay.
No, sir.
All right.
You get
Thank you, Mayor Taylor, Vice Mayor Deemer, and council members. To God be all the glory. I want to talk about the United States Constitution, First Amendment, which says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. The First Amendment to the Constitution has long been debated, and many distort its meaning for the purposes of diminishing our country and even attempting to destroy it. Nowhere in the Constitution will you read the phrase separation of church and state. This is a lie that has been perpetuated to diminish the influence that the mighty hand of God has had and continues to have on our great country. America is the greatest country in the world, not only now, but for all time. Our founding fathers were overwhelmingly Christian, and the principles they espoused were predominantly Judeo-Christian. God is the very source of our freedom and prosperity. I am in no way claiming that we are perfect, but we are the light to the world. While many want to denigrate us for our flaws, they are at the same time ignoring the many things that we have done to make this world a better place. In a time when the whole entire world was entrenched with slavery, America was only the third country in history to not only outlaw slavery, but fought a long and bloody war where hundreds of thousands of white men died to set their black brothers free. How and why did this happen? There is only one answer: the God of the Bible. John 15:13 explains how Christianity was the force leading to eliminating slavery from America forever. Greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. John Lynch, the founder of Lynchburg, was a staunch Quaker and a dedicated abolitionist. So Lynchburg has a history of standing for righteousness. Alexis de Tocqueville wrote his major work, Democracy in America, which appeared in 1835. And it is from this work that the term American exceptionalism derived. What made America exceptional was two things: its individualism and its great faith in the God of the Bible. He was an ardent supporter of liberty. He wrote, "I have a passionate love for liberty, law, and respect for rights. I am neither of the Revolutionary Party nor of the conservative. Liberty is my foremost passion." He wrote of political consequences of the social state of the Anglo-Americans by saying, "But one also finds in the human heart a depraved taste for equality, which impels the weak to want to bring down strong to their level, and which reduces men to preferring equality in servitude to inequality in freedom." Romans 13, verse 1 says, "Let every soul be subject unto this the higher power. For there is no power but of God. The power that are ordained are of God. Each of you have been ordained by God to serve in this position." You must answer the question then, if God ordained you to serve in this capacity, should you not plead for his guidance in your efforts to lead our city? The White House has instituted a faith office. I would like to suggest that Lynchburg needs a faith board that would be comprised of some of the community's faith leaders, and it could be made up of ministers and laypersons, and each council person would have the ability to have one selection. I know that some of you think you have all of the answers, but I'm afraid you don't. Even King Solomon, the wisest man in history, had many advisors. God ordained the family, government, and the church. Doesn't it make sense that all these should work together if
Thank
we
you, Mr.
really
Barry.
want our city to be successful?
Thank you, sir. And we hear from citizens regarding support of our public library, Mr. Thomas Brennan.
Good evening, Mayor,
State your name
Council. My
and
name is
locality.
Thomas Brennan. I live in Ward 2. Council, I'm here tonight to speak in support of the public library renovation put forth in the city's capital improvement plan. I grew up in Lynchburg, and the public library was a central feature of my childhood. Most Saturdays, my mom would pile me, my 3 brothers, and our canvas tote full of checked out library books into the car and take us to the main branch for a few hours. Turned loose in the stacks, each of us could gravitate towards books and magazines that interested us. I was a Sports Illustrated for Kids guy myself, which is probably explains why I was the only one of my brothers to not go to the Ivy League after graduating from EC Glass. After a few quiet hours, we'd collect at the checkout to refill our tote with our new books. Next to our public school education, the library was an essential, safe place for us to learn and grow on our own. This is not unique to my brothers and me. Research shows that early exposure to books and subsequent early literacy are key predictors of academic success. After leaving for college in 2002 and living and working in a variety of cities, I returned to Lynchburg 14 years ago and renewed my library card. Visiting the building now fills me with nostalgia, but also concern. Besides the removal of the old card catalog, the building looks remarkably similar to how I knew it as a child. Not surprising given the minimal updates over the last 4 decades. Despite significant issues with its roof, pipes, and sewer system, the library continues to welcome and serve the community at a clip of almost 500 patrons a day. The fact that there is a construction plan from 2002 in hand to fix these problems and modernize the building makes allocating the CIP funds a safe bet with significant concrete economic upsides. By boosting reading test scores, providing job skills training, and even improving property values, public libraries have been shown to return $5 for every dollar invested in them. The proposed renovations benefit people in every ward of this city and should be an easy and unifying decision for this council. Public libraries are a vanishingly rare commodity, an indoor public space that is free to use and open to all. It has been a benefit and refuge to me at practically every stage of my life, and its improvement is exactly how I want my tax dollars spent. Thank you so much.
We now hear from citizens regarding protecting the CIP for schools. Mr. Michael Brennan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I'm Michael Bremer. I reside in Ward 4. I ask that council protect the capital improvement plan for city schools. A few council members have already suggested changing the timing of the distribution of CIP funds to the schools. Will changing the amount of the dollars be next? I ask council to hear the professionals who understand design and construction workflow and know how to most efficiently control the major maintenance projects in our schools. Do not alter the city's CIP funds for the schools. 4 council members recently approved the largest residential development in Lynchburg's history and committed public treasure to improving the road to benefit the developer. The council has decided to spend $2.2 million not in the CIP budget. Millions that will certainly balloon. Where will these dollars come from? Council member Dr. Wilder has proposed the easy solution: provide more revenue. But the majority in this council doesn't support that type of investment. Some of it suggested various projects in the 26 CIP be eliminated. One council member suggested that refurbishing the only public pool at Miller Park is not really needed. Another stated, quote, that, quote, renovations to our public library just are not a priority, end quote. I propose the council look only at transportation project CIP funds to find the millions you have gifted to the Langley family. Which transportation projects might be sacrificed? You could delay improvements to the development at Mill Ridge Road and redirect some of that $8 million to Wigington. Or how about, Or how about eliminating $3 million of local funds for improvements to the Vassar Street Langern Road intersection? Perhaps the $64 million for Candler Mountain Exchange could be delayed until the new Liberty University Fire Station number 9 is completed. Or there are the $1.4 million for improvements to pedestrian safety at the newly revitalized Bedford Avenue. Or perhaps $750,000 for the Langern Road Bridge. Another $1 million in smaller projects could be considered as well. What should not be considered is any disruption to the arduously designed capital improvement plan for deferred maintenance of city school buildings or any reduction to school operating funds to pay for this boondoggle. Thank you.
Next section, general business. Oh, one. Jamie.
Item on the agenda, a late ad for Jamie Maxwell
Jamie
speaking
Maxwell.
on behalf of Lynchburg Firefighter Association.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Council. Good evening, Council. Jamie Maxwell, President of Lynchburg Firefighters Association. I'm here in response to some garbage that was put out during the budget meeting at 4:30 today. First and foremost, Andrew Jeans did not die, or he did not lose his battle to cancer, Miss Reed.
Yes,
He
sir.
did not, Council, he did not lose his battle to cancer. If I was half the man, half the firefighter that Andrew Jinks was, I'd still be quarter of a man. Keep his name out of your mouth during your meetings. His memory doesn't deserve that. Shame on you for doing it. I wish I could have my slides up here that I wanted, but I'm not allowed to like Chief Wormser did. So you can see the conditions our firefighters are living. But according to Sterling Wilder, I guess it doesn't matter. Your words prioritize spending. I guess living conditions, Mr. Wilder, aren't the priorities of you for the firefighters. Not your priority. There's only so much money. Your words, sir. I agree, there's only so much money. Let's spend it on the library and on the pool. I tell you what, let me beg for something. Let me beg for 15% of each one of those so we can redo Fire Station 5 and encapsulate that asbestos that's inside Fire Station number 8 and Fire Station number 1. Let me just beg for 15% of each of those. Can we do that? No, I guess not. It's not a priority. Screw us. Here's the gear that we wear, right here. It's full of PFAS It has cancer stuff in it. This is killing firefighters. If you want me to give you the stats of what it's doing, I can get that information to you. Right here it is. Chief Wormser said that we might be getting stuff that doesn't have it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it that we're not buying gear that has PFAS in it. These tiles out of fire station number 8 and fire station number 1. Council, you said during your meeting, and you made a point to say it, make sure WSET reports the right information. There's only 2% of asbestos in here. 2%, that's what they said. It said it's safe. If it's safe enough for your firefighters, it's safe enough for you all.
Calm down, sir.
What?
I don't feel safe from this man. I want you to get away from me. Get that away from me now.
Order.
It is a point of order.
Yes.
He has threatened me tonight, and I do not feel safe.
That was not a threat.
That's not a threat.
It wasn't a threat to you, it was a threat to me.
This is not a threat. I want y'all to pass it down. If this is safe
You
enough for
didn't say keep his
firefighters.
name out of your mouth in a hostile way. You are threatening me, and you did it last time too. And I should interpret a threat.
I'd like to reclaim my time, please. Do not violate my First Amendment rights.
Point of order.
I am pretty sure.
Mr. Maxwell, let me see that towel. I removed these towels from many places, and it's not gonna hurt you, okay? Long as you're not eating this or making dust out of this black mastic, it's not gonna hurt you. I got asbestos certification from Waco down in Richmond. Okay? I removed asbestos from Thornton Hall over at UVA before it even became popular.
I'd like to reclaim my time, please.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. I appreciate the emotions involved, especially when it comes to a fireman's death, but I would
Yes.
ask that we try not to engage the
Yes.
council directly. That's part of our rules, is that we don't call people out or that we don't leave the podium. So I would
For
ask-
that, I will apologize, council.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We will not desecrate his name,
Okay.
not for political means whatsoever.
Mr. Mayor, go ahead and end the time.
Okay.
My time was closer to about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, please.
That's up to council. I was pausing between all the point of
Okay,
orders
we'll resume his time to 2 minutes.
to 2 minutes, okay. Go, Mr. Maxwell.
I find it funny how all of a sudden council members left this room. She was threatened by a tile that she said it's only 2%. Said that during a budget meeting. That's what she said. It doesn't matter. It's okay for firefighters to have it, but then she storms out of here threatened over a tile. If it's good enough for firefighters at station number 1 and station number 8, why is it not good enough for everybody in this room or council? I wish she was still here so she could tell my wife that I don't matter. But I guess she's not going to be here to do that. Is it okay for you to tell my wife that my life doesn't matter? The lives of those firefighters and stations? Am I passionate about this? I'm very passionate. I care about the boots on the ground. Now, mind you, I'm not an eloquent speaker. I come in here like a B-52 bomber. It's who I am. Sorry. I'm very passionate about this. I care about the boots on the ground of the Lynchburg Fire Department. Let me tell you something, I'm going to defend Chief Wormser right now. I'm pretty sure if Chief Wormser was allowed to, he'd be here doing the exact same thing, but he's not allowed. He's not allowed. Now, mind you, he has a better approach than I do. He's much more eloquent. Better public speaker. He's not loud, not forceful. But this is who I am. I care. We just want the floors fixed. We want fire station number 5 to be remodeled. We're asking for what? $500,000. Can't get it. I guess our lives don't matter. And we got the best boots on the ground the state has to offer. The best boots on the ground. Paramedics, firefighters, EMTs. There's firefighters right now working right now who have cancer. Working their heart out.
Thank you, sir. Here are your towels.
I don't want them.
got asbestos on.
It's not gonna hurt you. You're not breaking it, eating it, or creating dust with it. It's okay.
Right now.
Okay, back to general business. It includes items for discussion. Second reading, consideration of adopting resolution number R-25-029, amending the FY 2025 city, federal, state aid fund budget and appropriating $193,422 for the purpose of providing funds to establish and deliver withdrawal management services. This is the second reading. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
got probably more of a technical question. You previously abstained on this, I think?
I'm gonna abstain from this too.
Well, then we don't have a quorum to vote on this matter right now. We don't have a quorum to vote on this matter if you abstain. So that's the technical question that I have. Do we have a response to that? Because if you abstain.
A quorum speaks to the amount of people needed to start a meeting.
Okay.
Once the meeting is started, the quorum is established. As far as you all have a 7-member board, so a quorum is 4 people. And there are 4 people present. And then as far as voting on the matter, the people who are available to vote is 4 people. And so there'll be 1 abstention, given that, so you all can vote on this issue with the number of people present.
Is there any risk in not having at least 4 votes?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
well, just Councilmember Feraldi had previously reached out and asked that we move this to the second meeting in April so that he could have more time to better understand it and to vote in favor of it. However, we don't have a second meeting in April. It's been dedicated to our public hearings. So our first meeting in May would be May 13th that we'd be able to move this to. However, we talked to staff and they really do need these funds appropriated soon.
This needs to be taken care of.
Does anybody know if Ms. Reed is anywhere? Are you able to see if Ms. Reed's available to come in here? And vote on
She's
this?
not.
Well, then, I guess if we could vote on it.
Yes.
For the city attorney, so what we need is a majority of the people here, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and there is a time sensitivity to this issue?
Yes.
There is.
Okay, then I hope we can get a majority to pass.
I'll make a motion. Second. For what it's worth.
Second.
Okay, let's vote.
All right. Initiating now. The motion passes 3 with 1 abstention. I accidentally clicked abstain for Councilmember Reed. It should be absent, so 3-1 is your vote.
Thank you all. This end our April 8th meeting, and we will return on April 22nd, 6 o'clock, City Chambers. Thank you.